Còn rốn này đi thế thao chứ pet còn nơi ngay lá hiến còn nơi ngay và trong tờ tinh ván để chăm bách có tới ngay tiệt nơi không đi miên tờ ván thoa mà đa bữa xa dương thời ca tinh ván ấy để tha lọ thông đồng đấy cái dương thời tới ngay và đôi như số đôi dương nằm bên thế.
Rod Sapal has lived here on the outskirts of Phnom Penh, Cambodia for 6 years, but she didn't choose this house or this community. Before moving here, she had lived her entire life in the city centre, in a community that used to be known as Dekrahom. Then, on the morning of January the 24th, 2009, this happened.
Ngày nó người cây ở miền Ban ơi đừng nắng ấy dương thế cây màu tới rồi miền bò miền đầy cho miền đá xong rồi cục mụn bố cái bánh chỉ xay rồi man ở dương thùng lần ọt mà nó bị lúa trên đặc này trên ấy ổn chẳng ấy dương mà ai phải mổ lấy ba này dương chun đặc men tránh nó anh em miền con ho miền mùi ho mà đai cha tiền dương thơ ấy cả.
Local land developers and the police stormed into Dekrahom, violently forcing 400 families from their homes. Within hours, bulldozers had demolished all trace of their lives here. Rod Sapal, although she legally owned the property where she lived, is one of the many who lost everything that day. The police were operating on behalf of a Cambodian construction and development company called 7NG, which saw the opportunities for this land in the middle of the growing Cambodian capital city. For 3 years, 7NG had negotiated with Rod Sapal and the families of Dekrahom. Their offer was to purchase the land at well below the market value for such prime land, or to trade their property for a row house outside of the city. The majority ended up taking the deal, but for the 400 families like Rod Sapal who declined, the evictions came with almost no warning. The non-compliant were trampled and beaten, and their homes were flattened.
When I saw people have destroyed it, it made me feel like the world has destroyed. No justice at all, no law respect at all, no people rights at all.
Long Kim Hyang is the Senior Communications Officer for an organisation called the Housing Rights Task Force. HRTF monitors and helps organise support for communities like Rod Sapal's that have lost their homes or who face forced eviction.
I have learned from my family. My parents work hard to have a house for living. But when I come to see the people that already have home, but their homes were destroyed, what they feel? It's very, very painful, beyond the word to say.
Rod Sapal and the other evicted families were transported out to the village of Damnak Triyang, 20 kilometres from the city, removed from their livelihoods, their families and the community they knew. Under Cambodian law, citizens have the right to own land and are protected from unlawful eviction. Any development can only be done with the consent of landowners. However, nearly 500,000 people nationwide have been involved in land conflicts since 2000. Although both Sapal and her mother owned their homes at Dekrahom, both houses and contents were lost when they refused 7NG's deal.
Too often, slums and poor people are looked at as problems that need to be solved and sometimes just pushed aside in the name of better development.
Colleen McGinn, an independent social researcher, says women are particularly impacted by such evictions. As well as being chief caregivers, nearly 80% of Cambodian women also work. Being relocated takes them from their source of income, as was the case for Sapal. Srey Satir, chairman of 7NG, denies that the community was treated unfairly. But there should be impact assessments, independent evaluations and full compensation for homeowners, says Colleen McGinn.
When those processes do not happen or do not happen fairly, those are termed forced evictions, which is recognized by the United Nations as a human rights violation.
Urban development in Phnom Penh is on the fast track. In 2012 alone, the construction sector grew by 72%. 10 years ago, Phnom Penh didn't have a single working traffic light. But today, luxury malls are well lit for shoppers, and new homes for the wealthy expand the city limits as far as the eye can see. The United Nations Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights estimates that over 120,000 people in Phnom Penh have been evicted since 1990. Requests to the Ministry of Land for an interview were not responded to. Kim Hyang knows what it's like to live without a home. Her life began in a Thai refugee camp along the Cambodian border, where her parents had fled to escape the brutality of the Khmer Rouge regime.
My family is a big family, or we can call the poor family, among many thousand families in Cambodia that poor.
And now she is part of a growing number of young activists at the forefront of the movement against forced eviction.
We're seeing that it's the women who are coming out very strongly as advocates for their land and property rights. And more frequently, we're seeing that it's young women who are really organising and mobilising their communities to be able to protest.
Carla Silbert is the Women, Peace and Security Officer at UN Women in Cambodia. UN Women offers support to community leaders like Kim Hyang so they can better resist violations.
Other work that we're doing is working very closely with NGOs and with young activists to really be able to improve their understanding of their rights so that they can then empower their communities.
The one person in charge to sharing information to the media about the people activity and to the world, posting the information or the activity of people to YouTube, Facebook. And I use my video as the evidence.
Legal demonstration is one way in which Cambodians are expressing their many concerns. In October 2014, several groups marched to deliver a petition to the government demanding, among other things, better implementation of the rule of law. Overwhelmingly, the protesters at these events are women.
We have 100,000 women work together, use their power, use their voice. I can orient them to know how to speak to the media, what they should talk to the government.
And it seems the authorities are listening. The royal government of Cambodia committed to issuing at least 20% of land titles individually to women by 2015, a goal that was already met in 2010.
I think that that's really going to give women a much stronger position in terms of being able to advocate for their rights in relation to the land that they hold.
It's government initiatives like this that could have really helped Sapal. But for many others, there is more hope. Kim Hyang has arrived at yet another community meeting. These women represent 3,500 displaced Phnom Penh families. They too were forced from their homes and scattered to the outskirts of the city, but come back here to what is left of their former community to continue to develop strategies for their compensation.
More and more women, they know their right now. And more than this, women, they exercising their rights.
Meetings like this one happen every day all over the city, and it is because of these meetings that change is being effected. Cambodian women are learning from experience and are better prepared for facing future potential conflict. Better community organisation allows people to advocate for their rights, and it is women who are driving the progress to be able to better protect their families, their property and their homes.